Everybody know what's going on with Brother John today. So the thing that's happening is I want to start talking to some educators. I don't care where you teach, what level you teach, if you're a pre-K teacher, charter school, private school. I want to talk to educators to see what's popping in education in 2024. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been wanting to get this sister on for a while, and we finally connect. She was like, fall break. We can do fall break. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have somebody in the studio. I'm a call her by her name on social media. It's Leader Classes in the building with Brother John. Welcome to 88.5. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Man, I'm excited. You here? You know, I had to make a few moves to get over here because the meeting I was currently at is running late, and I said I don't want to miss this interview, and I didn't want nobody else to do it because they can't do it like me. No shade to my folks, but you know this is very important to me. So I want you to be on. How can I put it? I want you to be as real as you can be. And you with me, so you good, you right? You good without me, but I'm just saying you good with me because I really want to touch on a few things because in education right now, not just in Memphis, but across the country, it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things going on. People dealing with teacher shortage, AI, and social media, and people trying to incorporate music, dance, and raps, and all this stuff into education. And I want to find out from various teachers. I said private, charter, pre-K, district schools, people from Collierville. I want to start this process of getting into the mind of a teacher, mind of somebody that's been about this work and doing this work. And you were one of the ones that stood out to me because I don't want to say I was slick, just trolling you, but I was just watching and I said, okay, she about her business. I saw you brought a couple of people, some celebrities into the classroom. And I said, well, she about that work. Let me talk to her. Well, all that being said, I'm going to jump right in. I want you to kind of give us a little backstory to how, well, not backstory, but your resume. How did you get into teaching and what got you to this point?
All right. Well, let me start off by saying that my views, my opinions are my opinions and not a representation of my charter organization.
Okay.
But I'm a native Memphian. I went to Craigmont High School.
Craigmont.
Elementary school, I went to Brookmead. I think it's Libertas.
Okay.
Libertas, it's a Montessori school now, so I started there. Like I said, went to Craigmont High, middle and high. Mm-hmm. College, I went to Lemoyne College, received my Bachelor's of Science. And
LOC.
Yep, shout out. In early childhood education.
Okay.
And then I went to the University of Memphis, received my Master of Science.
You were them.
Yep,
okay.
Go Tigers go. In ICL with the literacy endorsement.
Okay, so what was it about the education piece? Like when you went to school at Lemoyne, was it like, yo, I want to be in education, or this was something that parlayed, was an aha moment for you? What was it that's like, yo, I'm doing education. This is what I want to do.
It was my calling. So God called me to do this work. When my first niece was born, I kind of developed that nurturing side. And then when I had Barbie dolls, I would line them up and teach them on the dresser. So
you teaching dolls?
I'm teaching dolls.
You getting that work in? You practicing?
Yes. So it started at a very young age. So I thought I was gonna be a lawyer, but God said, "Nah, you're gonna be a teacher." Yes.
Okay.
So I'm super passionate about education.
She didn't say super passionate.
Super passionate.
Not passionate. I'm passionate. I'm super passionate.
Yes. So before I became a licensed teacher, I was a para, and then I was a performing arts teacher at a charter school.
Wait. You got to break down. What's a para? Is that like an acronym or something?
That's a paraprofessional. So it's similar to a teacher's assistant position. We wear many hats in the school. So I was at a charter, and at the time, I was not in school. I took a break from school, and there was a teacher there, Dr. Ingram. Shout out to Brian Ingram.
Brian Ingram, yeah, the brother.
So he told me, he was like, you're doing this work. You're doing the same work that I'm doing, but you're making less. He was like, and you're passionate. Go finish school. And since he, gave me that motivational speech, I've just been boots to the ground, running ever since,
So that, what he dropped on you caused you to go back do what you
Yeah.
needed to. How long? What was that time frame from when he told you to now you right where he was at?
So I had this conversation with him in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a few months after that, I did what I needed to do to get back in school. Graduated 2017 from Lemoyne, then 2019 from Memphis. So been a licensed teacher since 2017.
Wow.
But in education 2012, wearing various hats.
Okay. Now I want to touch on Lemoyne because the reason because she told me she had told when I asked her beforehand what college she went to, she said Lemoyne. Now I was talking to someone who recently shared, I would think it was Mikael Lowry.
I know
think
Mikael.
and you know
Shout out to
Mikael. Shout out to
Mikael.
Mikael Lowry. So we was talking when I brought up this, and I'm gonna bring it up to you. Word on the street, or word got to me that Lemoyne Owen College was producing the best teachers in the city of Memphis at one point in time. I don't know if it was true, fake news, but when I said that to him, the brother got kind of antsy. He was like, "Oh yes, sir. That's what we do." I was like, "What?" So, what is it about Lemoyne Owen College and producing educators like yourself and like those that came before you?
So no lies told.
No lies told.
Top educators from Lemoyne Owen College. So let me go back to the conversation I had with Brian. So I was at a charter school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the teachers there were graduates of Lemoyne, and they were
Wow.
T-Vos, not Tim, not your principal going in. giving you level
Tell
five.
them what that is now, because
T-Vos, so that means they're producing some high scores on the 10 Ready assessment, and it's giving them the T-Vos level score. So either they're growing kids, they're keeping kids at grade level or higher, or both. So when I was doing my research, I'm talking to other teachers, asking them, where should I go? And Lemoyne kept coming up. And then again, I'm seeing the work in the school that I'm in from these T-Vos level 5 teachers. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the Lemoyne. And
based on your surroundings, because
Yes.
that's where they was from, and that's the school they went to, and
I'm
you
seeing
watching the work.
Right. So I said, well, let me go to Lemoyne. And they didn't lie. Like, they really prepared me for this work.
Okay.
Shout out to Dr. Hines. He's a principal at Roselle. He was one of my professors. He kept us there
Dr.
from
Hines,
6 to 9,
that's
and we worked.
a good brother.
I walked out of his class the first day because I'm like, I can't do it. You got me here.
The
till
first
9
day?
Yes, you got me here till 9 o'clock, sir. Like, no, but he was like, no, you're going to come back. You're going to do this work. It's in you. I'm just going to help get you to where you need to be, but you got this. And he stayed on me the entire time. And here I am now, T-Vos level 5 teacher.
You
so.
at T-Vos level 5.
T-Vos
We got to
level
clap
5.
that up. I don't have a full understanding, but T-Vos level 5 seem good. But that's another point. When a teacher say they're a T-Vos level 5, or I don't hear nobody say, yo, I'm a T-Vos level 1, or I'm a T-Vos level 2. I hear 5 all the time. So what's that? Is that like a tier? Like that mean you top tier? And I'm not no shade to level 1, 2, or 3, but does that mean you have room for improvement? You need to do some things. You got to get some students moving. What's your logic on all that?
So we're scored 2 ways as teachers. You got TIM, that's like the Shelby County Schools rubric. That's when your principal comes in, and then they observe you, and they score you based on what they see.
Okay.
Then you have T-Vos scores. So T-Vos scores is based on how well your students perform on a 10 Ready assessment.
Gotcha.
Right. So they look at the either growth, like are you growing the kids? Are you taking them from where they are? So, some of them are below grade level. So are you moving those kids? Then you have achievement. Do you have grade level kids? Are you keeping them where they are, or are you and growing them? So that's where you get the T-Vos.
So T-Vos look like you got to put some respect on that T-Vos score.
Now I know I want to say K2 teachers, they don't get T-Vos. I think they can pick whatever a school, like if they say, I want growth of the school. That's how they get theirs. But those 3 through 12 teachers, when I hear them say I'm a level 5, I'm asking, you a TIM level 5 or are you a TVAS level 5? Because I want to know.
Oh, so it's a little distinction in that.
Yeah, because I mean, you said we could be wrong, right?
Yes.
Your principal may be your friend giving you this TIM level 5, but I want to see the work that you're doing.
What that work do? What that work do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, they
So-
look, and I'm like, yeah, what's your TVAS?
So is it safe to say if you a TIM level 5 and you a TVAS 5, that's cool. But if you a TIM 1, a TIM 5, but a TVAS 1 or 2, is something wrong with that? The math ain't math.
Math is not math, and we're gonna get into that when I talked about that social media.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay, all right. So but I'm glad you shared it because now you kind of schooled me on it because I hear people say TVAS 5, but what about the folks that's a 3 or a 2? Like, how can they get around 5s if a 2 hang around a 5, a couple of 5s? That should bring your score up if you really about that work.
Yeah, you need to be asking, hey, what are you doing to get that 5, that 4, or that 5?
There you go.
And I'm struggling with this 1 or 2, so.
Bet. So this is a perfect segue into my next question because, I hear people say they old school teachers or some teachers say, I don't want to adapt to change. We got the cell phone in the classroom. Some schools allow it, some schools don't. Some schools allow the use of AI, some schools don't. Some allow headphones on while they doing their work. It's like education to me, from my vantage point, it seems like it's a little bit of everything popping right now. Like if you like this, you like that. But education back in the day when you was in school to education now, do you see a change?
Yes, I see.
What change do you see, or what types of change, or is it curriculum? Is it style, teaching style? What do you see?
It's some of everything. Curriculum when I was in school, it seemed like we always used the same McGraw-Hill books. But now as a teacher, it's like we're changing curriculum every 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
So that's one thing. As a novice teacher, if you're giving me a curriculum and you're in the second year of this curriculum and I'm trying to learn the ropes to this curriculum, I'm blood, sweat, and tears in this curriculum, and then you turn around and change it, now I have to learn something else.
Okay.
Also curriculum is scripted now. So back in the day, my teachers, it's coming off top of their heads, it's knowledge, prior knowledge that they know, the content knowledge that they know. Now with some curriculum, you have to go by the script. Now
script for script, like you gotta read that, or you gotta teach that.
For the most part, they want you to go by the script. Now I'm gonna, kind of go off course because I'm gonna give my kids what they need. And it's probably why I'm in the position I'm in now in my job, because I was always, I'm giving my kids what they need,
But you're a level 5, TVAS 5, right?
Yeah, I'm a TVAS, so I'm the reading enrichment teacher for my school. So I have the autonomy to build my own enrichment curriculum for my students based around literacy standards.
Got you.
So curriculum is a change. Let's get into social media.
Right.
When I was in school, we didn't have, I think we had Kyocera, cricket phones.
Right.
All you could do was text, but now, we have access to the internet. It's on our phone. So you have teachers now, I feel like it's a dog and pony show for them. Not everybody, but you have teachers now who, I get on TikTok and you get the whole class TikToking, they learning these songs. But let's go back to the TVAS. You're a TVAS 2 teacher.
Gotcha.
So bringing in that social media aspect, I see a big change there. Kids don't seem to be as focused on school as we were back in the day.
When you say focus, do you mean like if we're going over a new subject, they might get the first 30 seconds and then they distracted or they daydreaming, or what do you mean by not as focused?
So I used to love going to school, especially elementary school. We had field trips. I had nice teachers, and, we enjoyed going to school and learning. Now when I see some kids pass me, they look depressed. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I don't want to be at school. I'm like, just in the second grade. You got a lot of schooling left. Like,
Right.
you know, how can we change this, turn this around? And it's just so much of the outside world, you know, weighing heavy on them. You know, crime is at an all-time high in 2024. When I was in school, yes, crime was there, but not what it is now. So, you know,
Gotcha.
you have kids who are directly affected by a lot of the crime we got going on.
And they say now, are you of the mindset of these young folks are doing this because they're not educated? Because, you know, there's some people that say if they was in school or if they was educated or, you know, if they was in a math and reading class, we wouldn't have this problem.
I'm going to say yes. And the reason why, so I always tell my kids with reading, I can't speak too much to math.
I got you. We said we stand in your lane.
Right. So reading is a lifeline. You know what I'm saying? So, so I have students who can't read at all. And this is 4th and 5th grade.
Can't read at all.
Cannot read at all.
Wow.
So, you know, it's like once they hit their third grade, it's critical because it's like if you can't read at this age, you know, it's some people almost count you out. Now, I'm not counting my babies out, but society will count you out at 3rd grade if you're not up to par, if you're not
Right.
reading on grade level.
School to prison pipeline when they say that if you're not reading by 3rd, 4th grade.
So now you have this 5th grader who's reading on kindergarten. You know, we're teaching them blends, you know, basic phonemic awareness.
Right.
And, you know, they'll be behind. 9 times out of 10, they're going to drop out. Now, this is my thing. I'm 17, I'm 18, I'm 19. I cannot read, and you stick an application in front of me. I can't fill this application out, so I can't get a job. Or
Right.
I can't, you know, do the basic duties of a job because I can't read. So now you won't hire me, or I'm either being laid off or let go at these jobs. So then, you know, we're in the world of instant gratification. I need the money now, so
Right.
I can't. I want instant gratification, but I can't read. I can't, you know, do what I need to do long enough to hold this job down. So then what do they go do?
Do something counterproductive.
To get what they need when they want it instead of, you know, so that's just a cycle that I see, and that's the difference I see now between when I was in school, where you may have had a few students who couldn't read, to it's classes. You got 22, 23 kids in a class, multiple classes who can't read. So that's another thing.
I heard that's around the country though. I'm hearing that in some of our inner city. I'm hearing it from our inner cities. Some educators say the same thing. We got a lot of our children can't read, but this the part that kill me though. But we fresh as hell though. Like they got on the Jordans that ain't nobody got. You know what I'm saying? They got the drip that ain't nobody got. But ask you to go stand in front of the class and read this sentence, you having problems. And just because your child got the fresh haircut, the fresh shoes on, or your daughter got the newest Louis Vuitton bag at high school, and that don't mean that a teacher's going to pass you to get you to graduate. It seems like parents have a play in this as well.
Right.
What's your point to that?
So when I said, you know, outside things affect, you know, how students feel about education, that's another thing. You have parents who want to keep up with the Joneses. So they go, you know, like, oh my gosh, I see 2nd graders with Stanley Cups. And I'm like,
what?
That's $30, $40 cup. Right. And it's, oh, my mama wanted me to have this. And I'm like, just go get a Walmart cup. You know what I'm saying?
You knee high. What you mean when you do a Stanley Cup?
You have parents who, you know, try to keep up with the Joneses, so they want their kids to have what they didn't have. So that's one thing. And then it's an accountability thing. You got parents placing blame on teachers and teachers putting the blame back on parents.
Right.
If you ask me, it's both. But when it comes to parents have to understand, you know, we got kids, 7 hours a day? So I teach literacy. And, you know, I hear a parent, well, you're the reading teacher, you know, you're supposed to da-da-da. And I'm like,
oh, they hit you with the you supposed to.
Well, in the past, you know, now no, in a position I'm in, but when they do that, I'm like, you know, yes, I'm the reading teacher, but I only have your child for maybe an hour, 10 minutes a day, you know, and then I have to transition kids in and out. I have to deal with behavior.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody come in with a hair emergency because, you know, women don't play about hair. I'm in there doing hair.
You being the
Like, I
mom
go
or the
to the
auntie, the
restaurant,
sister,
everything. I
all of
gotta
that.
counsel if somebody's coming in and they're not themselves. Hey, what's wrong? So a lot goes on in that 1 hour 10 minutes besides teaching. So once that's up, they go to math, they go to science. If they have social studies, they go
Right.
to elective classes.
Right.
So it's a lot going on. So I kind of laugh a little bit when I hear, they in school with you for 8 hours. And I'm like, out of 8 hours, I only have them 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Right. You hear how she broke that down, right? So when you saying stuff to these teachers, keep in mind they not with that one teacher for the whole 8 hours of the day.
Yep. Even first graders, second graders. I know at my school they switch classes in the
Right.
first grade. So they have a math teacher. They have a literacy teacher.
Right.
So even, at that young age, they're not with that one teacher for 8 hours. And again, if they are, think about all the other things that play into that 8 hour day, like I just mentioned.
Right.
So parents have to, it's a team effort. So if I call you and say, hey, Johnny is struggling in, verbs or nouns, it shouldn't be you have them.
Hold on. Hey, folks trying to call. Now we're in a live interview and folks trying to call. Yeah, we got a real interview going on right here. Please hold the calls until after.
Please.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like I said, if I have a parent to call or, if I'm conferencing with a parent, I say, hey, Johnny is struggling on nouns and verbs. It's not it's your job,
Right.
Hey, they're struggling here. I'm going to give you the resources. Can you work with them at the house on this, And then if we need honesty. Hey, I would love for a parent to say, hey, I was in school, elementary, 20 years ago. Can you give me just a review of nouns and verbs? I know it may be embarrassing, to some parents, but we love to hear that because yes, let me help you so you can help your child.
And see, but that's the pride thing. I think that us,
Yep.
you having trouble when they come to you, Mom, Dad, can you help me with this homework? And you sitting there scratching your head like you said, it's been 20, 30 years. I ain't divided or did nothing like this in written form since I was there. So I think you raise a great point. We got to come off that, oh man, I feel embarrassed if I ask the question. We in this situation because you haven't asked that question when you should have asked it when your first child came through. But it's not about me today. This is about you. But that is a very, very valid point. Come on, parents. You heard what she said. Don't be afraid to ask those questions because I'm sure if they say, well, you got any practice documents or something that I can use with him at home, you would be quick to try. Look, here, boom, boom. You start hitting them with some stuff, would you not? If they came at you like that.
If they came at, say that one more time.
If they said they need help at home, and if you had some like extra ditto sheets or something that they can practice on, would you be helpful to do that, or you be like, he got enough, just do the work that I sent
I'm
home?
giving them everything they need. If they have to come in after school and I sit down and give them a mini lesson to model for them how to help their student, their child, I'm gonna go that far because like I said, I'm in it for the hard work. This is my calling. So yeah, I'm gonna give them all the resources that they need to help their students and help them be successful.
Okay, good.
I'm
Thank
a
you.
teacher of all, so this teaching kids and adults.
Okay, so now you touched on it. Teachers that's using TikToks or
let's get into it.
Teachers that's teaching the handshakes before they go to class. Now I get that, and I got to say shout out to the dope educator because once he did it, he parlayed a check out of that, and I get that. But I'm gonna ask him next time. Now, what was your TVOS scores and all that when you was doing
not
that?
Tim.
But not Tim, but the TVOS. Now, when you see the children dancing or memorizing lyrics and say rearranging Sexy Red song and make it educational, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. The presentation, okay, they flipped that to math, but how does that translate into moving the needle if they was just say they were below grade level, and when they get out of the class, they didn't move up? But they learned the dance, the rap, they learned all that cool stuff. Yo, TikTok blowing up. But at the end of the day, is that child moving forward?
Right.
What's your take on those things?
Okay, so I'm not knocking, you know, that because that's just how kids learn these days. What I don't like to see is, like you said, okay, so let me pull back some. We got to build relationships as teachers.
Right.
You know, building relationships is going to help with the behavior in your class.
Right.
So I see why it's being done because I've done it at some point.
Okay.
However, when you're doing it to go viral at the expense of a child's education is where I'm, you know, kind of looking at you side eye because you're supposed to be helping this child read, but like you said, you done remixed a Sexy Red song 20 times. Now, don't get me wrong, it's been done before. I've done it before, but I'm teaching maybe the steps on how to write a sentence. So if I see a child taking an assessment and they got to write a complete sentence, you will literally see them bobbing their head like, okay, I got my capital letter.
Oh, so you watching them bob as they write, they trying to write.
I'm teaching a skill in that song. I'm not just making up a song to make up a song to go viral.
Right.
So that's the difference I see. I know, especially with what I do and a lot of teachers, or I use Can We Talk? I use that to teach character traits. So I'm pulling their music on and my music in, but it's fun as a way to teach content. I'm teaching standards through the music.
Gotcha.
But like I said, I see teachers, you know, you got your camera set up in the hallway, you're doing your handshakes, or you're teaching a song to gear up for Monday or Friday or 10 Ready, and there's no learning through that song.
Gotcha.
You know, and you got a teacher who got their camera set up on the table talking smart to kids because everybody think it's funny, and you done got a viral moment, but
Right.
that's at the expense of a child's education.
Come on. Right.
So,
right.
you know.
So listen, we not knocking y'all that's doing it. We hear what you trying to do what you can.
Do it right, though.
But do it right though. And I like how you said you teaching to the content. So like you said, if I see a child bobbing as they writing they sent, like, man, it had an effect.
Right.
They got it. So using it to
With purpose.
get with purpose. That's
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Y'all hear that? So, like, again, we not throwing shade to y'all, but just, come on, y'all. Let's make sure we doing it the right way because, yes, we all learned our ABCs from a song.
Right.
But just, look, we learned our ABCs from a song. So the same way we can do this stuff with the content. Now, I see a lot of young teachers doing that, right?
Right.
The education field right now, they saying is taking a hit. Right, they saying in the turnover rate and all this stuff. What would you say to a person that just got their license, fresh out, I'm ready to teach? What would you say to the new teachers coming into the profession?
What would I say?
To help them, to give them, watch pitfalls or whatever, what would you say to them after all of you have witnessed and seen since you've been in education?
If they're in it, like it's their calling or they're ready for this work, I'm going to tell them, hey, find that one or two teachers in your building that's yielding results and then stick to them as much as you can. That's what I did.
Like cling to them.
Cling, yes. Use them for all the resources that they have. You know, and that's from behavior management to lesson planning to gauging for misconceptions, anything dealing with education. Find that one or two and get all the nuggets you can out of them. That's if you're in it. Now, if you're not in it, and I've had that conversation with people, like if this is not your calling or you're not ready for this hard work, go find your calling. You know, because
if you're in it for the check,
yeah,
this ain't it.
We know.
The check ain't checking.
No, at all. So, you know, I've had that conversation with people before. Hey, I just got a job. And I'm like, now, you're the main person that was telling me, I never teach kids. And now you're teaching. Are you sure you want to be a teacher? Because this is what teaching entails. It's not getting up in front of a class, pointing at a board. It's not that anymore. You know, you're dealing with a lot. And I've had a person who came, after, look, I rescinded my application or my job offer, and they went into the field that they wanted to be in. I'm like, because at the end of the day, education is a lifeline. This is a child's lifeline. This is their livelihood.
You playing with somebody's life, for real.
So if you're not in it, then go be in what you truly want to do.
So if you see people that, if they just, I just need money. I'm a teach. You may not have longevity if you're just looking at it for the check. But if, like she said super passionate, right? You said super passionate. So that tells me you go above and beyond. You stay late, come early. You doing whatever you can to help that child get it. Am I kind of on the? Kind of like that.
Spot on.
See, I know these things, ladies and gentlemen. But the person that called in, they sent a text. I'm listening to the educator. Education starts at home. I read to my children in the mother's womb. Parents are failing the teachers. Educators are doing the best they can, period. What you say to that?
I agree with that. I like that she's reading in the womb. From the womb, you can go to My Baby Can Read. Mm-hmm. And just based off her comment, you could tell she's going to be one of those parents that, if her child is struggling, she's going to want to know, how can I help? And, goes back to what I said. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? We're in it together. Like I said, we can't keep placing blame on parents and parents placing blame on us. We gotta work together. We have to.
Speaking of working together, you touched on it earlier as well. You said if that principal's your friend or you cool with one of the teacher cliques, in schools, ladies and gentlemen, it's click. You got cliques. I'm just telling you what it is. But if you clicked up and you cool with this principal, he taking care of you one way, but I think it's hurting you in the end if it's not aligning with your TVAs, right? Or them students not moving.
It's been a disservice to their teacher and those kids.
So how can we fix those type of issues? Because I hear that goes on at a lot of places. I don't care what school, and no matter where you at, there's talk of principals looking out or want people to get bonuses or get their salary adjusted based off some of this work. So how do you fix that? Because the relationship, I thought, with teacher and principal, if you don't rock with his or her vision, how you gonna fit into that school if you coming in there, you want to do your job, but you see the BS taking place? How do you, have you a teacher that's really about their work? How do you handle that? Because that seems like that's a stress on a teacher.
You have to have the courage to, be a whistleblower. I know in my school, they know I don't mind sending emails. I even got a sign outside my door that says priority email. Because if I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, especially for the sake of the kids, I'm not afraid to address it. In some situations, you do have teachers who are afraid because of the backlash, or, now they're nitpicking with me.
Right.
But, if you have a few in the building who are coming together and whistleblow, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for the kids.
It's for the kid on all levels. On all levels, it's for the kids. That's the big thing.
It's nothing personal. This is a professional setting, so it's not that, I'm upset because, that's your home girl, and, I see you getting a 10-5, and I know what you're in your class doing. It's not personal. But if I see you being a disservice to these kids, and that's what we're here for,
right.
I'm just thinking about their future, then I'm going to say something. And I hope other teachers, say stuff
Speak
too.
up.
Yeah, that we have unions. Now, in a charter, you're kind of on your own.
Right,
right. That's what lawyers are for. But sometimes we have to go ahead and take that hit for the kids.
And I'm glad you said that. But another thing I want to kind of dispel with these series, and I'm just letting you know, you the first one, so I wanted to set it off right. I want to dispel that, because I'm in a charter or because I'm private or I'm a homeschool mom or dad. It's all about the children. And I don't like the lines that's like, I can't mess with them. Okay, you a TVAS 5 and you in a charter school, I'm a TVAS 1 or 2. And I can't have a conversation with you because you over here and I'm over here. But I'm like, we still servicing the same children. And it seemed like I don't want to say it's intentional, but it's like, what if all the teachers got together, not even tell where you teach at? I bet the conversations would be off the chain. And why do you think that is?
It's crazy you say that because I've worked in all areas. So I've worked for the district, I worked charter, I worked private, and I do have teachers who call and ask, hey, what are y'all doing over there at the charter from a private school? I think if we all came together, I think we taking the right step in making education better than what it is now in 2024. I think on Thursday we have it's called the Teachers Lounge, where educators get together and we discuss, state of education in 2024 and things like that.
Right.
So I think, again, I think that'll be
that's my
wonderful
mission.
To have.
That's my mission now. And that's listening to you talk just confirm my next move, because I got tired of they only teach not special ed. What they said at some of these schools, you got a division of they not the smart kids and these are the smarter kids.
So you have above grade level, and below grade level.
Right. And what's the one where they said is they said in all our high schools there's a division. Some children feel bad because optional and non-optional. That's also an issue, because some people we go to the same school, but they treat this person different because they're optional and this person is not. But then you put them in a certain environment, the one that's not optional may be outdoing the one that's optional based on the environment that you put them in. And it seems like it's a lot of conversations that need to be had. That's all I'm saying, Ms. Class.
So I would say, I'm going to tell you what I wish schools would. So schools do have a lot of extracurricular activities.
Right.
But we also have to change the mindset of that student. Some students are going to shine more academically and they're going to get that praise and those accolades. You know what I'm saying? And the student who is not where they need to be academically, they may kind of look at that and they may get discouraged. But you may shine in dance or basketball, and I'm going to give you that shine too, but we also need that component of, okay, you're shining outside of school, but let's get your education up there too.
Bingo.
So we do need some things in place. Extra tutoring. I know when I was in middle school, math is not my subject area at all. Don't ask me what
don't come up to me with
3
that. Right,
is, okay?
Right. Square root of 6 times the component of right.
None of that.
Right.
So but in order for me to stay on my cheer team, I had to maintain the grades. And when I say I was working overtime in math, and I'm not in high school, I'm in elementary, so I don't even know if they're really holding kids, to a standard as it relates to grades and things like that.
Right.
But I would love to see that in place again,
Right.
When I was in the private sector, students would have to do work before we started practice.
No, they had to get that work in first.
Yes.
I think that's how it should be really across the board, because I think I see some students that got study halls and all these so-called classes where they just in chilling. They could be doing some real work,
Real work.
And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, some of the students that's performing well, they get these classes because they finished and did all the classes they supposed to be. But I'm like, if you at school, chilling is when you out of school, when it's the weekend. When you in a school environment, you could be learning something every single day. Or to your point, if I'm good in English and I need to, what's Strickland? What's your last name? Macklin. My bad. So if I'm struggling in reading, but I go see Mr. Macklin. Okay, and I say, yo, Mr. Macklin, I need some help in math, because I'm strong. Like you said, I'm strong. I got an A in this class, but I got a D in math. Can you work with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had students that could conversate like that or know how to express themselves, because now that's a behavior thing in a socializing thing where some students may not know how to approach somebody saying they need help, because I don't want to seem like I need help, because if my friends see me talking to a teacher, that ain't cool.
But that's why, again, it goes back to, if you're not in it, for the hard work, then leave, because I don't mind, being transparent with my students. The same story I just told you about math, how bad I am. I tell my kids, like, y'all, I was horrible in math. Like, it
You
was
being
bad.
truthful with them.
Yes, and I'm like, but I owned it, and I know what I needed to do. I even told them to be a teacher, of course, we have to take the praxis
The
test.
practice is that, you're right.
And math was tearing me up. I know I had to take that test a lot because my math score was so low. I went and got a tutor. So I'm telling them about my struggle in math in elementary, middle, high, and college, and I owned it. So once they see, oh, okay, my teacher, she's human, she's owning that she's struggling, then I hear them, I can't read that well, but can you help me? You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm there to help. So it's not let me tell you this to do your work. It's
Right.
I'm going to tell you this to show you that I struggle, I persevere,
Right.
and I'm here to help you persevere. And you're going to put in some work, helping students who struggle or who are severely below grade level.
Right, and that's the thing, because if we can move that needle, like you said, you seem like the type, you meet the children where they are,
Yep.
and then take them from that up. You're not going backwards. We not dancing backwards, ladies and gentlemen. When you meet that child where they are, and you believe in them, show them the love. And, I've seen teachers talk bad to these students. And I'm like, yo, what you saying is powerful to them. But if you, instead of being negative, be positive, and it's all kind of way. That classroom management piece, that subject alone in a school, if your classroom management is shot, ain't no work getting done
At all.
at all.
I've seen it. It's, woof.
So that is, and like you said, you juggling classroom management. What if the girl need her hair done? Somebody's in the back pouting because something happened at home. And you got all this going on. You got to deal with a discipline situation. Don't have somebody mama up there in the, in they beauty supply slippers on, talking crazy to you, at your door, knock, knock, knock.
Right.
It's like, I really think we need to find some more avenues for teachers to release or have these conversations, because just sit in the classroom and you got all that going on, man, that could be traumatic. That can be stressful. That can really cause problems. So I'm glad you brought some of this up to the light, because as I go forward with some of these teacher talks, I want to share. I want to see what you got going on. How is it for you? Because every classroom is different, right?
Yes, very different.
Because some people think, because I'm on this side of town, I don't have to deal with that. You can put me anywhere. I'm going to teach. Okay.
But they do. Like
Yes,
I said,
ma'am.
I've done charter, district, and private, and it looks different on the other side of town.
Mm-hmm.
So we all kind of deal with the same, but it looks different.
It looks different.
It looks different.
Okay, so last thing, what would you say to parents? Because the response, like you said, you took ownership on when you was going through your stuff with math, but those parents that don't want to take ownership, or for example, your child is having a difficulty. Some parents don't think that their child have difficulty. They don't want to admit it or accept it. But what's your message to parents to get them to be like, yo, we in this thing together? Because if they don't hear it, we ain't thinking about trying to be cool with a teacher and all that. It's like, I know my child's smart, and you like, I got the report right here. Your child need a little help.
I would tell parents 3 things. 1, become a helicopter parent. And, I do not care for helicopter parents.
What is that?
Live in the school if you need. In 2024, we need more helicopter parents. Now, a few years ago, I used to despise helicopter parents, because here comes somebody, mama, that I done talked on the phone with all night. You done sent me 30 emails, but now we need it. We need it. Come up here and see what your child is going. What are they doing? Sit in the class. My second thing would find a teacher outside of the school. Have them to review what's coming home, because this is the thing. And I had to go through this a lot, especially in the private school that I worked for. Yes, your child has A's and B's, because homework. I'm scaffolding to the point where I can almost here's the answers. I'm curving grades. So yes, your child may be on a roll on its report card, but truth is your child may not be on grade level. So let's think back to the third graders. They have to pass the test in order to pass to the fourth grade, right? So, and I got a lot of calls, saying, "Hey, my child they were on the principal's list all year," and I'm like, grades look different from, it's a lot that goes behind grades. You could curve a grade, you give extra credit. Homework may just be a participation grade.
Right.
So find a teacher that can help you understand scores. So when students have to be assessed throughout the year, I know in my school we do MAP assessment. So that kind of gives parents a true report on where their students are. If you don't know how to break that down, get you a teacher friend, find a teacher. Just if you type in teacher on social media, since we all on social media a lot, you type that in,
right.
Third grade teacher. Some teacher is going to pop up.
Somebody going to pop up.
And hey, because I've had parents who I've never taught their child, and hey, can you break this down for me? So become a helicopter parent. Find a teacher and use them so you can understand those scores. And my last thing, look at the news. Look at the news. Look at the news and ask yourself, do I want my child on the news for, behind a mug shot, or I want them on the news for something great?
Right.
Because it goes back to their lifeline. Education is a lifeline. If they can't read, statistics show that's where they end up. They're either on the news for something negative. So.
Wow. Thank you. And when you said statistics, that brought up something else. A lot of people like to use data, data-driven society. Are you of the mindset of it's data-driven or the data-driven statistics and all that stuff plays a part, or you think it's just a small part? Because some people, all they live by is statistics, but sometimes in reality, sometimes it may be an imbalance on the data shows this, but in reality is this. Because a lot of this, I know some schools really big on data.
I think it's both. I think it's, are you intentional with how you're internalizing that data?
Okay.
Then you have to look at other components outside the data, especially when we're driving instruction. I could look at data. I remember one time I tested students. It was around Halloween. And of course they were excited about Halloween. So do you think they really cared about their tests? No. So my data was not good
because
during that testing week. Right. So, but looking at previous data, and I'm looking at the trends in my data, I know what they're capable of doing. So I'm telling my principal, hey, let me retest them. And then let's see how they do with, just ignore all this outside noise in the background. They're excited for this. They got candy. We're talking about Halloween costumes.
Right.
That's what's on their mind.
Wow.
So it depends on how you're looking at data, internalizing data. And then, of course, you do have to think about, realistic things going on as well.
Wow. Well, look, thank you, Miss Class, for sharing all this knowledge, dropping all these gems. And my man said, no, I'm the father.
Okay, shout out
to the dads. Yes, dads. Shout out to the dads in their children's life. But I really appreciate you, coming in and dropping this on me, because now some of this I got to take to the next ones that I interview and bring in, because I think talking to educators is very important, because we hear the educators' bosses or the teachers' principals and all the people in central office and different things. But when you talk to the teacher, the boots is on the ground.
Yep.
I'm not sitting in the office. Oh, yeah, this is going on. Miss Class, she's doing this. I ain't never step foot in your class to see what you doing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, and look, please do not be John, interview me. I'm just gonna be going to different ones because this not a popularity contest. To me, all educators is in, like she said, if you're in it for the right reason, them the ones I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the people that just want to check, because you're not going to give me the answers I need. So I thank you for setting some of the ground rules for as I move forward, because I personally think educators are the engine of our community, and if the engine is right, our students is going to be right. So I thank you so much for coming here today. All right. Any last words you want to shout out anybody?
Shout out to my friend Mr. Macklin. He came up here
He's
with me.
security. He like, yo, he ain't smiled till just then. Before he was serious, he like, man, what? I'm security. Now go ahead.
Also to Dr. Sean Boyd. So he has a podcast and a great book, How to Play the Game of College.
Yes. What's up, Sean?
Really
good dude.
Especially so for anybody aspiring to be a teacher or anybody trying to go back to college or they're new to college. He has a great guide on that. So I told him I was going to plug him in right there.
Oh, you go ahead, plug it. Shameless plug, shameless plug. Any co-teachers you want to shout out, or anybody in the education field that might have touched you, or not? Oh, excuse me, I don't mean touch you, but helped you along the way. Let me clear that up.
All of my professors at Lemoyne, I really thank y'all, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be the teacher that I am today.
Okay.
Dr. Perkins, she's one of my professors at Memphis. She stayed on me. And everybody at my school, like I say, I am at a school, so I'm at Cornerstone Prep Denver.
Shout out Cornerstone Prep Denver.
I'm at a school where I can say a lot of the teachers, they are there for the heart work.
Heart work.
I can walk past a class and they are teaching. It's not, I don't know, TikTok videos. They are teaching.
Gotcha.
And shout out to the Automate Foundation. So this Young Dolph's Foundation.
Go ahead, say that.
In the past, he donated money to my school, got us a lot of books. Therefore, my kids have been reading. They've read, I know, 2 years ago, over 40 million words.
Really?
Yep, they were in a video with NLE Chopper. Shout out to him for reading over 40 million words.
Look at you, got all the hotness going on over there. No, that's nice though. And Dolph gave books or gave money for books?
Gave money for books. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
see there?
That's how I got my book collection started. I think right now I have over 1,200 books that students can check out.
Really?
Yep.
Look at you, like a walk-in library and
I
all
really
that.
am, yeah.
That's dope. That's
Call me the
dope.
book fairy.
Oh, you the book fairy? Yes, dope. Well, thank you again so much. Shout out to everybody at your school, but more importantly, thank you for coming up here and being real and sharing from your vantage point how you see education and how we are in 2024. And I cannot thank you enough for that, okay?
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Man, leader class came up in here. I was going to say something that rhymed with your last name, but I ain't going to say that. We on air, but no, for real. Educators, new segment coming to you. We're going to be talking to all the teachers, or talking to some of the teachers to see what's up, how they doing it, how they adjusting with all the stuff that's taking place in education in 2024. We're going to get back to the music. We are 88.5 FM.